All right, good day. So we are out here and it has been raining for several days. We're out here on Puri, the land, and it's been raining for several days. So this is the perfect opportunity to see how water naturally interacts with the land and the energy of the water flows throughout it. And the most obvious thing here in doing this water observation is the slope. There is about a 5-foot drop in the 80 yards to the fence line there of the property. The land goes down, it slopes down. So that's the way that water is going to naturally want to move. It's going to want to naturally flow downhill. Obvious, right? And the water really loves moving on the south side of the property here. It's a little bit lower. The texture of the soil seems to be less grassy here, so the water has a better opportunity to erode and move, and we're going to make use of that. If you've seen our site design plan, we have essentially a gravity-fed water system using swales and a pond. So that's our well up there. We're gonna have a pond up here, and then it'll have a gravity-fed system that comes along here and moves into swales, which are trenches that are perpendicular to the contours. And those swales are gonna hold water and then slowly release it over time. We're in Texas here, so we can go for periods of drought, and it can also get really hot in the summer. So the swales and the slow releasing of the water is going to help us save on irrigation costs. Even though we're using a well, it's still taxing on the earth and the gravel bed to, it's still an input to take that water. And then also the electricity from the pump to the well is another input that we'd be reducing on by still having a gravity-fed system. And here's the well, 2,500 gallon storage tank, 120-foot well into the gravel bed. And then we have a pressurizer. So we have a pressurizer system. So we're actually going to be able to get 50 to 60 gallons per minute pressure, which is the same as a household. So we're going to be able to wash our vegetables. We're going to be able to clean out our buckets easily. We're going to be able to feed the animals easily. So I'm really excited about that part. And the soil here gets really nice when it's wet. It's muddy, but it's not like falling apart muddy. I would love to have a shovel out here and be doing some digging, but I didn't bring a shovel with me, and it's pretty cold. So now we're going to the other side of the property where I want to do another pond. So I showed you where one pond is going to go at the top of the slope, and then I want to put another pond over here because there's water retention over here as well. And it gets shade, and I think it would be a perfect place to put some ducks. So I want to build a habitat for the ducks, and one of the things I want to make for them is a nice little pond. So you can see over here, this is the corner of our property, the south west corner of our property. And on the site design plan, you see I put another pond in here, and it's going to be perfect because you can see there's a good amount of standing water here. Standing water, yeah. And then also you see this plant. Pick it here. You see that? This is called dock. D-O-C-K, not duck, dock. And it grows where there is very high moisture content. It normally grows next to things like streams and ponds and whatnot. It needs lots of moisture. It's an edible plant. You need to boil it because it contains some sort of chemical in it that is bad for humans if you eat too much of it uncooked. But the ducks will eat it, and the fact that it grows here is a great sign for water retention because it shows that the soil naturally has a lot of water that it holds here. So that's going to be what the ducks are really going to be after. It's going to allow us to grow their crops for them, so we can grow things like comfrey out here for them, let the dock grow, and whatever else we plant for the ducks is going to grow really easily because of that high soil moisture retention rate here. And it also gets shade. So there's tons of shade you can see back there from these trees, and there's this huge pecan tree and a line of other trees, elm and hackberry and whatnot, that's going to provide afternoon shade. So they'll get some sun, but in the hot Texas summer afternoon, those ducks are going to be shaded, and that's also going to help keep the water in the pond and on the crops that we grow for them due to evaporation. So those are the main points of the water observation out here that I wanted to go over. And whatever your property is, it's good to get out there while it's raining and see things in action. Notice where the water's puddling. Notice where the water naturally wants to flow, especially when it rains. And then read ideas, explore ideas on the internet and books about how people make the most use out of those naturally occurring systems. So minimum inputs, maximum outputs, maximum efficiency, minimum effort. That's what we're about. So that's what we got going on today. Super exciting to have this opportunity to show you guys, and woo, the air feels so good. All right, bless.